Hey folks, it's me. I'm back for another episode. Here we go. This is going to be the first proper one. I'm entering into my final week now, pushpay. I've had a hell of a ride here. I've learned so much. I met so many awesome people. But it felt like it would be a really good point to talk around something we don't talk about a lot. And it's really important as part of your professional career. And that's leaving with good graces. How to leave a company in a professional manner. I've been thinking about it a little bit over the last couple of weeks as I come to the end of my time here, and I thought it could be something worth talking about. So here we go. It's really important, no matter what industry you're in, that if you want to build a successful career, you need to manage the relationships with the people inside that industry. The tech industry here in Auckland is as big as it gets in New Zealand. Wellington's about the same size, but if you're talking tech industry, it's as big as it gets here. Even so, here I am in my third role, just leaving my third role, and about 7 years experience. But here in an office with only about 100 people, there are 4 people that I've worked with previously, and there are a bunch more that have either worked with or worked at places I've worked at before. So it's really important that when you're leaving a place, as unhappy as you may be there, you've got to think it's the people who you're leaving an impression with. And those people will change jobs too. You'll come across them later in your career. Maybe you'll be relying on them to get a job. I wanted to reflect on a few points about how to leave in a professional manner. The relationships, as I've already hinted, are vitally important. These are people that, yes, your time working with them right now might be done. So it's really important to consider the relationships that you're leaving behind. Yes, you may feel harshly treated, or you may be unhappy with certain conditions at a place that you're working with, or maybe you're leaving on a really good terms. Either way, it's the relationships with the other people around the office that are vitally important. These are people that you're going to see again in industry, whether it's at a meetup, at a conference or other event, or maybe even working with them again. It may be that they're part of a recruiting team hiring you for a new role. So it's really important to build strong professional relationships with these people. Keep in touch, keep the rapport going, and work well with these people. I've touched on employability. It's really obvious to me that you should leave on good terms for reasons of your own reputation. I know of a fellow in the Auckland industry who, when he was unhappy in his current role, made it very public that he was unhappy there, why he was unhappy there, and was incredibly critical of his employers. When he did this, he burnt his bridges, not just with the company he was at, but with companies that were looking to hire him. It made it very difficult, as this word spread around, for him to actually get a new job. He ended up staying with the company he was at, and as you can imagine, things were pretty awkward. It's good for the community as well. Each of us have got a responsibility as part of the testing community and the development and engineering community to put forward our best selves. By doing this, we can enhance our reputation as an industry overall, but also be able to get a bit of favour, better opinions from decision makers, board members, CEOs. If they feel that development teams and testing teams are hard to work with, testers moan all the time, they continually whinge, they're always unhappy, they're less likely to be investing in those areas in their own companies. Another key point when leaving a company is how you hand over what projects you may be left with, what areas of responsibility you had that others will need to take up. Clear documentation isn't obvious here, but I like to follow these up with a one-to-one or a catch-up with the person taking over, if possible, or with someone who has a vested interest in the same area. This really helps to ensure that the communication is clear and that the documentation is going to be easily understood. Some places you work, and for me, it's only happened here, but you'll get an exit interview. I think this is a really responsible step by employers to try and manage and improve their own employer brand. It's incredibly expensive to recruit, and companies should be looking to improve retention rates wherever possible. During your exit interview, it's really important for you to be honest and candid, but also be respectful and constructive. Say how they can get better, where they can better, give them suggestions. Don't just bash, oh, that's terrible, I hate it. Say, this could be better by X, Y, or Z. Also seek feedback and advice going forward from your peers, from your leaders. People may be a little more confident to give you some feedback at this time. They will still do so respectfully, but they may not have the same reservations as they would do on a normal basis. Also, it shows a great deal of respect and helps build the relationships that we've talked about above. And lastly, but not leastly, stay productive. Always expect, such and such has handed in their notice. They've got their feet up now. They're already thinking about their new role. They're not really considering the team. And to a certain extent, that's natural and expected and acceptable. But also, you still need to do the job you're paid for. You still need to maintain that professionalism. Take on smaller jobs, take on little testing tasks that you can do to support the other testers in the team that may be working on a longer feature. Ask your colleagues and your team leaders if there are small tasks that you can take on that will make their lives easier for the last couple of weeks. You don't want to get heavily invested in something that's going to be long running, but equally you can make their lives a bit easier before you leave. Alright, so that's my first full vlog. Hope you liked it. There are some doobly-da things that people click on YouTube. Leave any comments below. Your experiences of how you've left companies would be awesome. I'd love to see those. And I will see you later in the week for look forward to my new role.